Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a monthly flip through in my Hobonichi Cousin Avec. This is going to be for all of the spreads for the month of April 2025. So if you would like to see how I did all of my spreads and go through all of my daily pages, then go ahead and keep watching. Alright, I believe in one of my previous videos I had mentioned that I was going to put a new cover on my Avec, which I did go ahead and do. I just went to Canva and printed out a little daisy background theme, and that was pretty much it. Really simple, and I really do like it. It's kind of in the spring feel, and I'm vibing with it. So this is my new cover. I am obsessed, and now let's just go ahead and jump into it. So we're going to go through all of my spreads and really quickly talk about what happened for the month of April. So we're going to flip to my year at a glance. This is the first page of my Hobonichi Cousin that I like to go to when I'm doing these monthly flip throughs. And for the month of April, I have at the very top my books read, my pages read, and then my subscriber count. And then down here, these are I use this as an index for my daily pages. If anything that has a little brown dot, it means that there's a picture associated with that page. And I really like to do this because it helps me kind of zone in on things that I might want to refer back to in the future. Not every day I'm going to want to look back on. So these are just kind of like the highlights that I think I might want to refer back to. So for the month of April, my daughter had her learner's permit. I briefed the general, which was very stressful. I think I bent my TWSBI nib. I possibly was in a book slump. My oldest drove to work for the first time. Studying with Adrian, I had a migraine, Easter, take child to work day, and then there was a teacher's conference. So these are all kind of the big things that happened in the month of April, and we'll kind of touch on a little bit of some of those when I get to the daily pages. And then at the very bottom, I use this section as a kind of highlighting my top 3 books that I read for that particular month and their associated scores. I am a huge reader, and so I really like to kind of highlight the books that really stood out for that month. And for the month of April, I actually had 3 5-star books, and that typically does not happen. So I had my number 1 book, the top tier book, was Play Along. It's part of the Windy City series. And then we have Voracious and Restitution. That's book 2 and book 3 of the Edge of Darkness series. And those were just such good books. So good. So this is my month of April. And now we're going to jump to the monthly spread. So we have for the month of April, I ended up using some leftover stickers that I got from Sterling Ink. I actually ended up doing the month of May in Sterling Ink as well, but I had some really old stickers from like 2023 and 2024 that I wanted to try to use up, and because I knew I had a new subscription I just restarted with Sterling Ink, and I wanted to try to get rid of some of the old stickers that I've just been holding on to like a hoarder. And so this was my theme. And if you have not seen me set up or talk about my monthly spread, or if you're new here, please make sure you subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you are new here. But I use my planners functionally, and while I don't refer back to this throughout the month, I like to set these up at the very beginning of the month because it gives me an idea of what I need to kind of anticipate happening for that month. I go through the doctor's appointments, I go through the birthdays, I go through appointments and things like that I know I need to be aware of. While this is not referred back to on a daily or weekly basis during the month, this does get me in like the good like monthly reset, the good mindset going into that upcoming month. So while I don't refer back to this very often, if at all, during that month, I do like to have a really cute monthly spread, and I really like this. It's very, very nice, very cute, very aesthetic, very chef's kiss. I approve. All right, and now we're going to jump to my weekly spreads. So this is my first week in April. Now, as I said just a little bit ago, I use my Hobonichi Cousin functionally. I'm also more of a minimalist when it comes to decorating and using stickers in my planners. And overall, the feel and the view of each week is very similar. I have found that this structure works the best for me, and I don't see me changing it anytime soon. So I always have basically my time for the day starts at about 7 o'clock in the morning. It goes to about 9 o'clock at night. And this is kind of my awake, busy time. And then 9 o'clock down, I usually have a washi or something separating 9 o'clock from the rest of the column. And anything after 9 o'clock, I categorize as me time, because that's when all of my family, all my kids are in their bed, whether they're asleep or they're about to go to sleep or they're just resting in their rooms. They are not usually bothering me. So the house is silent. I am basically alone in my own thoughts. And I like to, after 9 o'clock, kind of document what I do for that day. 90% of the time, it's reading. The other 10% is usually like editing, or, very rarely am I doing like any kind of movies or anything like that. It's usually reading or editing. But regardless, I like to use 9 o'clock and below as kind of a documentation of what I did for myself on that day. And then my sidebar, I always have sleep, I always have workout, and then I have to do. So that's usually the structure of my day. I also will highlight the planned appointments and things that I have on my calendar. Anything that's not highlighted is kind of like a ad hoc, like it wasn't something that happened on the fly. It wasn't anything that was planned. It wasn't anything that I was anticipating. And so that kind of lets me see scheduled stuff versus unscheduled stuff. So I just like the way that looks. So this is the first week of April. This was the second week. Again, it looks very similar. And this, I don't know if you can tell, this is the Calm mild liners in, I think this is the mint color. It's a very, very faint, like blue mint color. It is beautiful, but I don't know if the camera was picking it up. I absolutely love the Calm mild lighters. I'll put them down in the description if you're interested in them. They are my favorite mild liner pack. They sit on my desk at all times. They are always what I gravitate toward. I have to make myself not use them so I can give love to the rest of my highlighters, my other like mild liners and Tombos, but my eyes automatically like zone in to that pack. So if you have not checked it out, definitely make sure you do. And this is the 14th through the 20th. This was also me going through and trying to use up stickers. This is actually, I believe, this was my first this was my first subscription for 2025. It had just come in. So this was using the Sterling Ink monthly subscription. This is the May box or May kit if you're interested. And this is definitely the most stickers I will ever use in a planner. So when I'm using my plan with me, or when I'm doing my weeks, I will never have any stickers down at the beginning of the week, and I'll only put stickers in as the week progresses. But this is definitely the most stickers that you will ever see in any of my spreads. I think this is okay because the colors are like a muted type color. They're not super bold and like distracting, but this is definitely much more than you would normally see in any of my spreads. And then we have the 21st through the 27th. This was me using up some old stickers that I had. I had just put a bunch of stickers in my reusable sticker book. I tried to organize them, and this was me going through and trying to use up a bunch of those stickers to kind of focus in on using my stash, because I have new subscriptions that are going to be coming in and already have started coming in. So I wanted to try to use up what I had. So that was this week. The majority of my stickers also are Hubman and Chub Girl, or they are Coffee Monsters Co. I do have some other stickers from other places, but for the majority of my sticker stash, it is those two companies. So, and then this is the current week. This is the 28th of April through May the 4th. And as you can see, I don't really have a whole lot of stickers. After Wednesday, I did not take my planner to work. Today is actually Sunday. It is Sunday right now. And and I have not had a chance to backfill any stickers for what happened yesterday, but I did not take my planner on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday to work, and because of that, I really didn't have time to do any kind of decorations and document what I did for that day. So that is my weekly spreads, and now we're going to jump into the daily spreads. So this is the cover page for the month of April. I always use this page as a reading wrap up because, like I said earlier, I'm a very big reader. So I like to have a printout from Storygraph of all of the books and the statistics for that month for my reading. So I read 8 books, 2,890 pages. I listened to 28 hours of an audiobook. Average rating was 4.29. And then these are those 3 books that I rated as 5 stars. And then this is the yellow is the listening. So how many pages are equivalent to the time that I listened to my book. And then the green is the actual reading. So I have definitely picked up my audiobook game because now that I'm traveling to and from work and I'm not working from home anymore, I have plenty of time to listen to some audiobooks, and I have been taking advantage of it. So this is how I use the first page of my Hobonichi Cousin in my daily pages. And then we're going to go through really quickly the daily pages. I'm not going to highlight everything that happened because a lot of stuff is very mundane, but on the first, my oldest went and got her driving permit. I was stuck at the DMV for over 3 hours. And so the question of this video is, please someone tell me why DMVs will always take forever. I don't understand it. People have been driving I don't even know when the first automobile was created. I'm not good with history, but automobiles and the need of people knowing how to drive has been around for a very, 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 very long time. Why is it the DMV can never be efficient? What is it about the DMV that will it will be 3 hours of your time at a minimum? Why is that? Please let me know down below why. It's so infuriating. So I was at DMV for 3 hours, finally got my daughter her permit. She was very excited. I'm very glad she finally has her permit, and she has been very much enjoying being able to drive around, and just put me in a very high state of anxiety. And then on the second, so I went high anxiety, being at the DMV for 3 hours and then having to deal with her driving, to the second, I had to brief the general of my agency on a project that I worked on. Luckily, I didn't have to brief him for very long, but I did have to explain what I did and why I did it, and take the actions that he had identified to potentially look for other sources to help make the project capture correct information. And so, yeah, that was interesting, but I got it done, and it was very successful. So I'm happy I had that experience, but I did not plan on ever having to do that. So high anxiety day on the second as well. I didn't have anything really I didn't hear my alarm on the third. That, after 2 high anxiety days, it was a given that was going to happen. Then we had Friday, nothing really happened. Did a bunch of returns on Saturday, and then so Saturday is typically normally it's staying around the house, doing little small errands, and then Sunday is always the shopping day with my girls. That's normally how the weekends go. So Saturday I'm usually at home, Sundays I'm usually gone. Monday, can I leave yet? That's normal Monday thoughts. And then on Monday I believe it was actually on Sunday, but I didn't write it down. I was using my TWSBI Diamond. It was not my 580. It was my TWSBI Diamond 580. It was not my ALR because I have them both. It was the 580. I was using it, and I went to put the cap back on the pen, and I fumbled somehow, and the pen fell, and it kind of fell on the nib on the way down. And I think I messed it up. I'm not happy about it, but because it is a 580, I believe, I'll have to look back at the TWSBI site. Pretty sure I can get a new nib. So bonus for that, I have other TWSBI Ecos that you cannot easily change the nib out, but the 580 you can. But it's very frustrating that I think I messed up my nib on my 580, but whatever. Tuesday, nothing really happened. Wednesday, all day meeting. Thursday, this is when I thought I was in a book slump because I had wanted to read, but like I wanted to read, but as soon as I opened the book, like my mind automatically was like, oh, I need to check on something else. Like I kept getting diverted even though I wanted to read, but I just couldn't make my mind stop thinking of other stuff to divert me. So it was a weird situation I was in. I've gotten out of it now, but I did have to document that I didn't know how long it was going to last. I was hoping it wasn't going to last very long, but it was very frustrating for me. Made it to Friday. Saturday, my daughter drove herself to work. She was very excited. Luckily, her work is only like 5 minutes away from my house. And it's not a very like strenuous drive, but she did drive it to her work, and she was very excited about that. Cleaning day, I was struggling on Monday. Like I said, it's a typical Monday. Oh, and I also, all of these pictures or all these washies are from the washi tape shop. I do have links in the description box along with a code for the washi tape shop and Hubman and Chub Girl. So if you would like to have a discount, those are available if you would like. But these were all from the washi tape shop, and I just like to use them to decorate my spreads. Plus it makes it to where I don't have to feel like I have a whole page I need to write. It gives me like breaks to where it looks like I filled up the page, but I really didn't. Trick of the eye. That's where I'm at. Tuesday, this was my fountain pen kind of bled on my picture, but this was me. I came home from work. I had computer issues at work, came home from work, and immediately had to turn around and help my daughter study history for like hours on end. I don't think I ended up getting like rest until like 10:30 at night because it was just come home and immediately go to homework. So this was me. I took a picture of myself laying on her bed, just completely exhausted and ready for the day to be over. And then Wednesday I had a migraine. So I don't know if they're correlated, but I had a migraine the very next day. 17th, busy all day. 18th, the kids had an e-learning day. So they got to stay at home while I went to work, which was a good thing, also a bad thing, but a good thing for me because I didn't have to worry about carpool and I got to go to work super early. And so I got off of work super early. So that was a good thing, but then it was a bad thing because my kids were bored being at home. But not my problem, I guess. I was at work. I didn't want to be there either. Saturday, which is Saturday. Sunday, this was Easter. My oldest went to her friend's house and had, she celebrated Easter there. She had like a teen Easter party, egg hunt, all the above. And then my youngest did Easter at our house and found her eggs in the house and had just a bunch of fun. So this was a very good Easter day. Monday, it was Monday. I also restarted the Strong Lifts program, which is like it's a 5x5 program. So you do squats, bench, deadlift, shoulder press, and rows. And you have a certain, a maximum of 3 exercises a day. You work out 3 days a week. And then every day that you work out, you always do squats, but you do 5 reps for 5 sets. And then the other 2 exercises are either bench and row or shoulder and deadlift. So it's a program I used to do and I've just kind of gotten away from it, and I started again on the 21st. And so far I have done all of the workouts like I'm supposed to. So yay for me. 22nd, a bunch of meetings. There was some issues with my daughter's tutoring, not because of them, but because of her. Hump day, take your child to work day. I ended up taking my oldest to work. She absolutely loved it. I thought it was the most boring day possible, but she was happy. She ended up taking paper clips and made like I don't know if you can see, she made like a little garland of paper clips, and then I had some Twizzlers, not Twizzlers, I don't know what they are. I had pieces of candy in a bowl, and she ended up hanging them from the garland paper clips, and she was very proud that she decorated my desk. So whatever made her happy, sure. And it's still hanging there just like that to this day. I have not taken it down. I did get compliments on it even after that day, so whatever. Nothing really on Friday, nothing really on Saturday. Shopping day was on Sunday. Monday again, I did have a parent-teacher conference on Monday. It did not go well, but it is what it is, and I can't control things that are occurring outside of my house. So 29th, there was meetings all day. Again, another meeting all day. Day 2 on Wednesday, the 30th. And that is the last day of April. And with that, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not already, and also drop me a comment. Let me know about your thoughts on the DMV. And with that, that is going to be it. And I'll see everybody in my next video. Bye.